definitely completing is the best here. With 3 limpers, I'd probably limp in for 20 chips. If not, I wouldn't be doing it. But 3 people, it's a pretty good hand to see the flop.
Okay. No, the flop.
If it's just like 1 limper, I wouldn't bother. But 3 people, and the $2 players are quite donkish. So seeing the flop with those hands is pretty good.
This is a $2 or
Yeah.
$8?
Yeah. This is a 250. So here, checking is fine. You could also raise to like 120 as well. On the flop here, I would be leading out. I don't want to check because, like, I'm not going to check fold, and yeah, you check call, you're kind of guessing where you're at. So I'd probably lead out like 60 or 70 chips here.
Okay.
And,
I
auto raise.
Sorry?
You lead flop, and if
Yeah.
you have a raise,
If I get raised, I'd probably like, you basically have to decide if it's like a fish raising you, then 8s are pretty good on this flop, 4-6-2.
versus regular, you fold.
Yeah, like typically I would be folding, but not for sure. Like if it's a really bad player, then I'm gonna go all in with 8s on the flop.
okay.
Even the turn, like I guess the ace is pretty bad, so I have to check out. But yeah, the main thing there is just lead
Yeah.
out on the flop.
Okay. I just played it for set mine, and that's I think a mistake
Sorry?
on that. I just played it for set mine for set.
Yeah, that's fine, but like you'd want to set mine, but also sometimes there's flops where your hand is just gonna be ahead a lot, so you can just take stab and win the pot.
Okay.
So it's definitely a good shove for 10 blinds in this hand. That's good. So 8s on 15 blinds. This guy limped, and then this guy min raises. That's pretty weak to me. I don't really expect them to be min raising a huge hand over a limp, so I would be definitely shoving all in here. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's what I expect. Some sort of weak hand that he's trying to ice out the limper with. If I skip over a hand without saying anything, you have
Okay.
a question.
Yeah.
about it,
If
go
I
ahead.
have a question, I'll ask.
Yeah. Okay. Again, like this is an okay spot to stab. Like they both probably aren't too interested in this.
On the
so
turn.
check.
On the
Yeah,
turn.
on the,
Okay.
yeah, so you could bet like 350 chips here. I don't know. They might call with ace high, but when there's 1,000 in the pot, it's worth it sometimes. And you were in the big blind, so they could give you credit for 3 or 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and they probably fold those hands. Something to consider.
The you don't shove there, right? With or 3-bet with king 10
Is a
or
is a okay spot to shove actually. I wouldn't 3-bet because like you only have 20 big blinds, or
yeah.
22 big blinds. So if you look at the pot, there's 1,600 in the pot already. So this guy's opening wide. This guy could be flatting pretty wide. So I think it's okay spot to shove. Folding is definitely fine too.
It depends on the stats of the players, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you see this guy opening tons, like he has a really aggressive steal stat, and then this guy's a really loose player, then that makes this like a great spot to shove all in. Also, like king 10 suited, like it's gonna do okay against some of their calling range too. If they have like pot baits or something. Here I probably min raise. If the small blind shoves, you probably have to call, but I think it's still too good to not open that pot there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely 3-bet jamming this for pretty much anybody. That's good. Yeah, another easy shove, obviously.
Yeah.
So So here's 11 blinds. Actually, it's not 11 blinds. Yeah, it's an easy shove. Even if they both had be covered, I'd still be jamming it.
No, I
It's
fold it.
crazy miss here.
Yeah.
Definitely like under 10. Like for 10 big blinds on the button, you can profitably shove any ace. So these guys don't even have 10 big blinds. So definitely a spot you want to be jamming. It's 1875 in the pot. So if you pick those chips up, like that's huge for you. It's almost 2,000 chips you add to your stack. So yeah, definitely need to be shoving here. Same here, 11 blinds. I'm just jamming this.
King 9, it's not a shove.
An ISO, you mean?
It's
I don't see the open, so I don't see.
Oh, you didn't
It's
see the
okay.
If this was like 3 or 4 big blind all in, I don't mind ISOing King 9 because he should have really wide range. But 6 big blinds will like,
Oh, it's okay, I don't see he open.
yeah. But like that is a spot you can ISO, just not for 6 big blinds. I don't like it. Really easy shove here. People are like completing really wide. I find in these low stakes games, blind versus blind. So I'm gonna shove all sorts of hands when he limps into me because just most of the time people are just limping hands. They want to see the flop for cheap, not a hand that they want to call an all in with. So if I had like Queen 8 here, I'm shoving it too. If I had like King 5 suited, I'm shoving. So obviously an ace is gonna be an easy shove for me. And they're just gonna be folding so often.
And with suited connectors, what do you do in that spot? You just check to see the flop.
If you like 7-8 suited, I could go either way. Like checking's fine because your hand plays so good on the flop, but then like shoving's fine too because there's already 34 in the pot for you to pick up. He has such a weak range, so you could limp or check there. But if I have like Queen 8, I'm just jamming it because I think he's limping lots of stuff. 10 big blinds in the cutoff, I would probably be looking to shove here. I wouldn't go too wide here, but I think King 6 the diamonds is going to be fine, and these people aren't going to be calling wide enough, especially if it's on the bubble. Or I'm not sure if this is on the bubble or if you're just in the money. But yeah, either way, people are going to have pretty tight calling ranges, so this is definitely a profitable shove here.
I was thinking about the small blind because he was short. I think that's one, and he can call me. I think pretty wide the small blind with.
Yeah, if it's the bubble, then he's gonna play really tight probably because that's usually if someone's short stacked on the bubble, the reason they're short stacked is because they've been playing so tight. If it's after the money, yeah, they probably call off pretty light, but he's still not just calling you with any two. Like he needs like a decent pair or an ace, which isn't that likely for him to have. So I would be shoving here. Again, there's almost 3,000 chips in the pot, so that's like really big pickup to your stack.
Okay.
Shipping here. Yeah, I guess I just fold.
He opens from.
If he didn't open.
Yeah, he has 6 big blinds and opened a half of them.
It's kind of weird. I mean, I'd probably like get in sevens here though. Yeah, because like I don't know, he could have anything. He's 3xing. See if his hand goes to showdown. 5. Here, yeah, that's a fold. Yep, good shove here. Again, 3,300 chips in the pot, so they're not going to be calling you wide enough. So you could shove like any two here, it would be fine. But definitely king high, I'm shoving. I think you need to shove this one too. You only have 9 big blinds, king 8 in the cutoff. I'm definitely going to be shoving this hand.
Yeah, I think I was worried about the big stack. I don't know exactly what was he playing.
Yeah, but I mean, even the big stacks, I mean, they're not. It's still a profitable shove. Like they have a lot of chips, so it doesn't mean they're just going to be calling you off with 10-9 suited and stuff. They still need a hand to call you. So definitely maybe loosen up a little bit with your shoves. Yeah, this is fine to get in. You only have 6 big blinds, and he's got a big stack, so he could be opening wide. So what do we have here? 13 blinds.
12.5, yeah, 13 almost.
I'd probably just shove this because it's a $2 game and I don't want to get flatted. If it was a higher stakes one, I might just raise call, but probably best off just shoving her so you don't get flatted by somebody. This is an easy shove for about 9 big blinds. Yeah, I guess we don't really want to do anything here. The big stack is too deep for us to ISO shove, but yeah, I mean that guy has a wide range, so there's not much you can do there because the big stack has too many chips. Here, I would just be min raising. Probably have to call if the button shoves, and yeah, if the cutoff shoves, we can probably get away from it. Okay, so you get flatted. I would be c-betting about 4,000 chips here. 35 is good. You give yourself a nice price here. That's good. Shoving here is fine. You can give a walk too. Either one is okay. Here I'd be jamming. It's like 5 big blinds and you queen 8 on the button, and 15 and 3. I'm guessing there's like 10 left at this point.
Oh yeah.
So they're not going to be calling you off correctly. People are usually pretty timid near the final table bubble. So yeah, I would definitely ISO here to his like 5 big blind all in. Queen 10 of hearts, I would be opening this pot. We have to call all the short stacks, but with a hand like this, that's not even a big problem because it's gonna play pretty good.
Okay, so I'll open and pay the big blind and call him, yes?
Yeah, you call him, and him.
And the big
you fold to these two. But yeah, since like these 3 are all kind of equal in stacks, they're kind of fighting with each other to get the next pace points. So they're gonna make a lot of folds here when you open, even though they're so short. And if they get it in with whatever ace jack, then you're flipping for a pretty good pot. So I think that's definitely a spot I would be opening. Same here. I would be doing the exact same thing. I would min raise and call him, and him. Big blind shoves, and guess we could fold. So I think you missed 2 opens there.
Yeah.
This is like kind of close because you get 2 to 1, but I'd probably fold.
At 3 to 1, it's a call, right? If I had 3 to 1 pot odds.
Yeah, 3 to 1 I'd call with 9 deuce offsuit, but like if this was like 2.5 to 1, I would call here. I mean, if you see like the pot odds here, 34.7, that means you only need 34% for this to be a good call.
And I think I have that.
Yeah, like you'd have to be super tight for you not to have 35%. I mean, even if we give them all aces, broadways, and pairs, which is a pretty tight range when he only has 5 big blinds. And then you have king 4 suited. We have king 3.
King 3
suited. Shit. So you see you have 38% versus that, and you only need 30% for it to be a good call. So it's just something to keep in mind. Nothing wrong with folding that though. But if it's like 2.5 to 1, then I would just be probably calling with like any 2.
Okay, kind of neatish at the final table, I think.
This is kind of close because I'm not sure. Actually, no, this is a good shove. Sorry, I didn't see the 4K stack. You definitely have fold equity here because, yeah, he can fold and then this guy will bust out. So never mind, definitely a shove. If he was the only guy this short, then it's kind of close because I don't know that he'll ever fold any. He should be folding some hands here, so that's fine. Like even here, like I don't mind like jamming honestly, because look at this guy's stack. He's got 34 chip. So there's like a lot of ICM pressure for these two. Even though it's a $2 game, they're probably idiots and they don't know about ICM, but they still want to move up in the pay money. So. I mean, even the small blind just a little bit too short, where we can min raise and then fold to shoves. But yeah, if they both had like 10 big blinds here, I would probably just min raise with any two cards, and then if they jam, I'm folding. But I think they're not going to jam very wide because of this guy's stack. Okay, so here, I don't really like the shove. I think you're too deep. You have like 15 big blinds. So I would just be min raising this. And like, if one of these guys jams, like I'll probably just min raise fold. And if the big blind shoves, I'm gonna call because he's too short. But yeah, when you open under the gun, like these players aren't gonna 3-bet you very wide. So I think you're better off just raising this instead of shoving.
Just open fold, right? Open fold to
Yeah,
the big stacks and play.
Yeah, you're not gonna get called by worse either when you jam here. Like they're only gonna call you with like ace queen or something that beats you. So I'd rather just see a min raise here and then call the big blind, fold to the other guys.
With king 8 back to hand here.
Yeah.
Can I min raise here as well, or
Yeah, you could open this. You'd have to call him, but everyone else you could min raise fold to still. So I don't mind it actually. When it's under the gun, it's like one of my favorite spots to open at when the final table got short-handed, because basically you're only opening like in the hijack right here, but to them it looks like you're opening under the gun, so they're gonna have really tight ranges to play back at you. So actually a pretty good spot to open decently wide. Winners, obviously shove here. I'd probably get in like sevens and ace jack plus. This is a great spot to 3-bet shove. This guy has like 60k right now, or no, he has like almost 70k, so he's basically in second place, and then these two are shorter than him, so if you shove this, it puts tons of pressure on him to call, because he could potentially bust out fourth when he has a second place stack. So this is a really good spot to 3-bet shove, like really wide, so I would definitely be doing it with queen jack suited. That's a nice play. Probably wouldn't do it here just because we just did it to him, so I could see him making some spazzy call.
yeah.
Made it bigger. But like if the queen jack hand didn't just happen, I probably would have shoved this. But two hands.
Yeah, and I thought because he was opening on the short of the tables, he was definitely had a hand that has some value, and maybe call.
Open wide into 25 place stack. Yeah, good point. Again with this hand, I just want to see min raise fold here. We don't need to risk like, what is that, 70k? That's like 14 big blinds.
14, yes.
I think, yeah, that's too much risk here. We have a really big edge on these players, so I don't want to risk 70k, especially ace 4. You know, we're going to be killed if he calls this. So I would just make it 10k here. I'm obviously calling off the 18 guy. If either of the blinds jam on me, I can fold.
Okay.
And shove here. This I don't mind. It's about 13 big blinds this time, but queen jack suited is like a considerably better hand to do this than ace 4, because he can snap you off with 9s, 8s, 7s, 10s, whatever, and it's a flip. He can call ace king and it's 60-40. Whereas ace 4, if you get called, you're going to be destroyed. So I don't mind this actually. You could raise fold too and then call a small blind, but I think shoving is okay with this hand.
Okay.
Like the only hands I would be jamming here would be like small pairs, like 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. Any pair bigger than that, I would just raise call. And then yeah, king jack suited, king queen, queen jack suited, those sort of hands I would also be jamming.
Broadways, okay.
Sorry?
Broadways, any Broadway, so I think you'll jam any Broadway suited.
I like jack 10 offsuit. I'd rather just raise fold to the big blind, because again, we have a big edge on these players, so we can make some lower variance plays. Like min raise folding is lower variance, because if he shoves, then we're not losing 70,000 chips. So another okay spot to open. Again, when you're under the gun, they give you a lot more credit, even though you're only in the cutoff right now.
Mhm.
And if this guy jams, you have to call. But if either of those guys shove, you can still fold. Definitely shoving. Yeah, you get 1.7 to 1 with a pocket pair, so I'm gonna call, even though it's almost always a flip, but still, it's worth a call. You can min raise here. I think shoving would be not great because it's like 12 blinds or something like that. You could raise fold this one too if you want.
Okay.
I think you could look for some spots like with like 10, 12 to 10 big blinds. There is still some spots you can min raise fold. You don't have to just shove or fold. I'd be folding here because this guy's a fish, but against a good regular, then this is pretty close because they're gonna probably be on 100%. So if someone was on 100%, like if I was in that spot, I would probably shove anything.
So random.
As you can see, you only need 39% and you have 53 if he's on 100. But this player was a fish that we saw from earlier, so I'm definitely not calling a fish. Just pointing out that if they're a good player, you can call queen 8.
Okay.
Here, you could raise or fold. 11 and a bit big blinds. I mean, jamming is okay too. But, I mean, either is fine. I just probably raise fold because they're such bad players, and I want to keep the variance lower. Yeah, definitely shove over this. Nice trap, buddy. Here, you definitely need to be shoving any two. I think, like, you're the shortest stack. Again, there's almost 12,000 chips in the pot, and he's not going to be calling you with the correct range. So you definitely need to shove here. I'm shoving like 9-3 offsuit in this spot because the chips are just so valuable. He's going to be winning these chips.
He called me several times with, I don't know, junk, and I think.
Yeah, but the other time when he called, he only had 2 big blinds with the Jack 6. So that's why he called that one. And then what other one were you talking about?
I don't know, King 7 or something like that. King or Jack 9.
When was that?
I don't know, it doesn't matter. Something like that, King 7.
The point
I
is,
think.
like, even if that was a good reg, he was calling 100%.
It wasn't a good reg.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, even if this is a good reg, I'm shoving the queen 5 here. Like, I'm shoving this against anybody. And against a random or bad player, I'm shoving 100%. You just have to be winning those chips. Like, if you pick up 11,000 there, then you're almost back to 10 big blinds without even showing your hand. And, like, yeah, this is obviously a good shove, but, you know, I'd rather shove queen 5 into one player than ace 3 into 3 players.
Okay.
But yeah, this is definitely still a good shove. So you bust fourth in that?
Yeah.
Fairly play, but definitely some spots you miss some shoves.
At the final table, I think I was kind of neat.
Kind of what?
Neat. I didn't open a lot.
Yeah, some spots, but yeah, it's a $2 game, so you can't really run the table over too much because people are not folding very much. But yeah, you definitely play very solid. I think you just need to work on your shove ranges a bit, like a few folds that shouldn't have been folds. But yeah, okay, I'll load up one of Touche now.
Touche.
Touche. So it's a $8 game, looks like. Okay, so I wouldn't be calling here with Queen Jack, especially suppose I'm good as a reg, so it's not worth playing this. He's not opening that white under the gun anyways. So to flat here, like maybe like King Queen suited or something. Yeah, I'm not gonna call Queen Jack here generally.
I think I could play a little bit loose on low stake. I play like 80 people, and I think from that.
In early stages.
Yes, I play in early stage.
Yeah, I think like the early stages, it's best to be like pretty tight and not really get out of line too much. I mean, if you're really good post flop, you can flat stuff like this, but I just think you get yourself into a lot of bad spots.
Exactly.
And like here on this flop, I probably just raised to like 200, but like if he shoves, I'm not gonna call. So I just don't want to flat and then let all the draws get there, especially with the guy behind. But flatting is fine. Yeah, I like the raise though. He calls, like, pretty sure if he has aces or kings that he's
Exactly.
raising you. So that makes me think his range is like 9s, 10s, maybe like ace king. But if it was ace king of diamonds, I think he would raise that too. So I would barrel the turn here, like 200, 250.
I bet a little more.
Yeah, 340 looks like a little too much, and you pretty much commit yourself here.
Exactly. I have to draw there.
Yeah,
But
just like he's a good player though. Like he's not min raising under the gun with like random clubs and
exactly.
diamonds. So I just think you're better off to fold that pre-flop. Okay, so I would probably just make it like 300 here.
I play with Table Ninja, and I think I have some miss percent or something like that. I bet a little more. I think.
Yeah, pre-flop or on the flop?
Uh,
375.
on flop, I think the bet is.
Yeah, too much. Yeah, I would agree because like you basically like crushed this board here. King 8-4, ace king. It's like a monster.
Exactly.
And their stacks being 1k left. Like honestly, I'm fine if you check this here to try to induce action. But if I was gonna be betting it, I'd probably bet like 350 or something. I want them to think they still have.
But isn't okay the bet because of the flush draw there?
Yeah, but just think about like if one of these two guys has 2 diamonds, they're never gonna fold the flop. Like if you bet, they're shoving diamonds here because there's already 1k in the pot. So I'm not really worried about letting diamonds come because it's irrelevant. If one of these guys has 2 diamonds, they're gonna get all my chips here. If a diamond.
So what you prefer in this spot? To check?
I would either check or bet like 300 chips, 300, 350, something like that. I just think 500 is just a little bit too much, and they're not.
I think so. I think
they're only gonna go all in now if they have like king jack, king queen, or 2 diamonds or a set. Like they're not gonna get it in when you bet that much because it's committing to them. Limping this is fine. I guess opening is fine too. Another reg here. He's 3-betting pretty small, so you get basically calling 100 more when the chance to win 1300. So you're getting about 13 to 1 implied odds to set mine, which is fine. Especially like his 3-bet should be a pretty good hand. I mean, honestly, I would probably just give up here, and you must call because you win the pot. But I just think like yeah, he could have ace king or ace queen, but other than that, like their ranges aren't very wide here for reg to 3-bet this early.
I think I have some history with him, and if I fold here, I must fold anytime when he c-bet on me, and I play for my image also, something like that. I like to fold here. I think it's okay.
But I like to call too if a 4 is on.
It's a 4.
I mean, I just think like if he has ace king, yeah, he'll probably shut down on the turn. But yeah, you're just kind of guessing where you're at, man. Obviously, it's gonna be easy to play now. I mean, he's betting 3. I feel like he's got like kings or aces here, queens, and he's not folding. He could be barreling. No, I just can't see him putting in 300 and folding. But then again, you have history with him, I don't. So. Yeah, you could either. I'd probably just shove here, but you could flat too. Yeah, unless I like queens. I mean, that's why I just fold the flop though, because like if you don't hit your 4 there, you're not gonna win that pot.
I definitely fold on top.
But what do you think about the opening at the lower blinds, low early stages? 2.5, 2. It's
Oh, I 3x.
the 3x.
50, 30, 10, 20. I 3x, and then 25, 50 at 2.5, and then like after 100, 200, I just min raise.
Okay.
It's not like a huge deal how much you raise pre-flop. So I think your bet is a little bit too small here on this board. There's tons of draws that they're not gonna fold the draw here, so I'd be betting like 100 at least. Sorry?
I bet here to induce, I think, something like that. I don't know, without folder manager, without stats, I don't think if I play right or wrong, you know,
Yeah, no, it's kind of hard to know, like your reads and stuff.
because
I just,
it's, yes,
in general, like on this board, if someone has, queen nine or king queen or two diamonds, they're gonna call like up to 150 chips here, or they might even raise you. So that's why I wouldn't be betting 70 because you're giving them a chance to draw for so cheap. When they're gonna call more chips than this if they have king queen or queen nine. So you want to charge them for their draw. This could induce a raise, but again, it was just a limped in pot, so I doubt someone's gonna just start bluffing like crazy. Flatting is fine. You guys are pretty deep though. I mean, I might just want to three bet this because there's so many draws. Like if he has big diamond draw, he'll probably want to get it in. He could have like king ten of diamonds here easily, and you can get all the chips in right now. Yeah, you guys are just so deep that flatting seems gonna be hard for you to get all those chips. Here, I'm gonna raise to like 500 or something. 650 is fine. Definitely like a bigger raise because I mean now his range to me looks like a draw because he
exactly.
raised two and then he like leads super small. So to me that just seems like he's on a draw. That's a great river. The problem is he's like never gonna pay you off here. I don't think. So I've bet like 700 or something, some amount where he might decide to spew out and shove with his missed air. But I feel like he's got a missed draw and he's just gonna fold a lot. I don't really like this jam because I just feel like his range is like missed draws. He might have a jack, and this might work because he'll think you missed a draw. But yeah, I mean it's fine. If he has like king jack, I don't think he's gonna fold because it looks like you missed a draw here. Yeah, so that works out perfect that he has queen jack.
Jack and
Yeah, not a very good spot to open. Actually, you could shove here because they're all so short. King six of hearts is fine to shove. So you get 2 to 1. Yeah, I would be getting it in. This guy's never gonna fold, but 2 to 1 with a pocket pair. You only need 32% equity. He's gonna have like ace 10, king queen, tons of hands that we're flipping with.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a small blind or shorter. I'd be ISO shoving here. It's like
exactly. Me too.
good reg should be very wide here for 3 and a bit big blinds. And king 7 should be beating his range. Yeah, not a very good spot to open the stack.
And,
Shoving here, like his min raise looks weird, but I don't really care. I'm getting it in. I'd be jamming queen 9 here. We stacks are really small now that the blinds went up, and like we have 6 big blinds basically. So if we fold here, the blinds are gonna through us, and if we don't pick up a hand, we're gonna be stuck with like 3,000 chips after they come through.
You
if you
shove,
really
you shove at Jennifer like table or something like that.
I shove what?
If you use a table for shoving, or do you just if you
Does it depend on the table for me to
no,
shove here?
if you have something like a chart that you guide of when shoving or something like that, you know there are those
What?
pushing tables,
Chart? Yeah, like a push chart.
push chart, yeah.
No, no, I don't
No?
really use one of those. I would just shove here because
Okay, but what range you shove here? You
shove
if you
like
shove Q9, yes.
yeah, I'd be shoving like 7-8 suited here. I'd be shoving any ace, any pair, any Broadway. Queen 9 off is fine. Queen 8, like any really connected hand, I'm gonna be jamming. So like 10-9 offsuit, I'm shoving here. If you really don't want to get hit by the blocks and get down to 3-4 big blinds, then you're gonna be really crippled and you're gonna have to get lucky to win this. So and the odds that you're gonna get a good hand in the next few hands are not very good. So I'd be shoving this. And same here, same reasons I'm shoving because I don't want to, basically have like 5 big blinds or 6 big blinds. I just don't want to get hit by the blinds. Kills your fold equity. Yeah, that's definitely any 2 cards. Crimmac is a reg, but still I'm shoving any 2. Get this in for sure. It's a big stack he's opening. So I think Ace Jack is too strong to fold here, unless the guy's like a huge nit. But when he has that stack, I think he's going to be opening wide enough that we can call off here.
Exactly, but if he's a nit, maybe it's a good fold. If he's a nit, weak player, nit.
Yeah. Like a nit's the only player I would fold this to. Anybody else,
If it's a rank, I definitely shove here.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I have to shove here. And same here, 8 big blinds. There's a shove. Yeah, I'm shoving over the limp. We get like 5-1, but then this guy's so short, it's not worth it. Definitely jamming this. And you see, like when you're making these shoves, people are just folding. Like so, you could have King 7 here, Queen 9, doesn't make a difference. They're just calling if they get a good hand, and they're folding if they don't. Nice. It's life. Wow. I guess not so nice after all.
That was so nice.
Yeah, easy 3-bet shove. Nice shoving here. Oops.
Yeah, shove.
Nice. King Jack. So,
I have 10.
I would be shoving here because, like, first off, this guy is basically out, so we can ignore him. You're basically only shoving into 4 people, and then this guy's got 5 big blinds. This guy's really short. I think this is definitely a shove here.
Okay.
You could shove wider than this too.
No, yes, I think shove is better. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Better than
Like,
fold.
yeah, you just look at this guy's. Like, he has no chips, so you're basically in the hijack. And if you're gonna shove, this is a good guy to have kings. The guy with 900 chips. Just take note that this idiot's been limping so much. Like, I'm not gonna jam 3-8, but I would shove very wide because we've seen him limping so many hands now. Yeah, I'm shipping over him because he just keeps limping. I think you miss out.
Yeah.
You don't even need a HUD to see that he's just limping every hand. It wouldn't have worked out for you, but it's like it's gonna be limping way wider than Ace King, especially when we've seen him do it like 5 times already. Yeah, definitely a shove here. get this in. Against this bad player, you might even want to consider a stop and go here. And just call this and then ship the flop. Maybe you can get him to fold like some overcards or something. But just getting it in is fine too. Jam. So I got four-handed pretty fast.
Okay.
You could min raise if you want.
I think I mini raise, but versus regs I fold 5-3 there.
Yeah, I don't really have like a range here. Where was it? Yeah, I don't really have like a range. Like I'll min raise, and then other hands where I'll always fold. I just kind of go with the game flow. Sometimes I'll open this. Sometimes I'll just give it up.
Exactly. Me too.
And yeah, I like this open because it's gonna be kind of shitty if the big blind shoves on us. Might have to call, especially with this hand. But yeah, if the other two do anything, it's an easy fold. And again, it's under the gun, raises four-handed, get tons of respect. So I like the open. Probably just shove here because like raise calling or something would be really bad because of the ICM.
Yes,
Raise would be really bad too.
I make some bad move here on I raise call maybe sometime,
I know that's the problem is like
but I think it's wrong. Yeah.
is the ICM like you can't really raise call here, but even though it's definitely like a good play for winning chips, just the fact that he's so short, you don't want to get into like 160k flip right now. So I would just jam this to avoid this kind of spot. Once you open, like pretty much are forced to raise fold, which really sucks.
Exactly.
That's why I would just shove.
Here it's also
Okay, so if I had like kings or aces, I definitely would check back here because this guy's an idiot and I want to give him a chance to ship into me. The queens are kind of more vulnerable because obviously the overcards can come. I would probably bet like 7,000 or something. Just try to induce out of him. Yeah, raise calling. I wouldn't be 2.5xing this late though. I think once you're like past 500, 1,000, you want to be min raising.
exactly.
I think 2.5 is a little bit too much when you're at the final table. Look at this guy just shoves with kings there. That's pretty unlucky.
Yeah.
That's unlucky too. So yeah.
7.
Not much you could do here. This is pretty well played. A few like things early on, like I don't like to kill playing queen jack and like fours when a reg is three betting you. Like you should just give up on the flop because his range is like really narrow.
I see. I have a problem with small pair. I really like to play small pair.
No, it's good to call, but like after the flop, just don't think your head. And he ended up having queens there. Like what I
Exactly, but versus reg, if he have ace king, he always c-bet on flop. But if
fold,
what?
and then check fold the turn.
Exactly. And
yeah, so if you're calling just to bet the turn, if he checks, that's fine.
Exactly, this is the strategy.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. You hit the 4, so I couldn't really see what you were planning to do.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'll load up number 2 now. This guy's game. This one is a 250 as well, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like your sizing here. Want to bet kind of bigger to force them to put in more chips if they have a draw or a weak ace.
It's okay there to fold with the 5s?
Very standard.
Yeah, because like
It's
you're just
yeah.
flipping 300 chips off, so there's no point. I like ISOing. 3x is fine, you could also make it a little bit more.
4x? Okay.
Check back is okay. We have 2 overs and a gut shot. I probably would fire though. I would bet the turn. I don't want to raise pre-flop if I'm not gonna bet.
Okay.
Now then you might as well check if you have some shootout value.
Yeah.
That's like you're definitely losing out on value just by shoving 2 queens in here because like you're forcing them to call off their whole stack. Like it's the only play that these players can do now.
I do this a lot at 2.5 because they just keep calling with garbage at my shoves. Ace 9, Queen 10, King, Queen 10, and stuff like that. If I have more than 3 players ahead of me, which I think, so let's take the situation, a limp and 2 raises, they will often call me with 9, 6, with a little pair, and I just made it profitable. I don't know what happened here. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I just like you definitely can see some stupid calls and stuff when they do this, but that's not always the case. And a lot of bad players aren't gonna call 1600 with like ace 5 of hearts here. But if you make it 300, they're gonna call that because they want to see the flop. So I think like yeah, you can sometimes get called off by something here, but I think in the long run you're definitely a lot better just to raise. Queens are like a really huge hand, obviously, and these players are so
Okay,
bad that I don't want to waste it by just shoving and getting them to fold.
so you would raise at 300 there,
Yeah, I would go to 3 or even 350 or something.
350. Okay.
If you have like ace king, I don't mind just shoving it, but queens are like very strong. It's like the third best hand. Folding is not really a big deal. You could obviously open. A lot of times, like I just fold those 2 early on because it's not really worth winning the 50 chips. Here, I think like again, you should just be raising to induce out of these guys. Like if one of these players has pocket 2s, I don't think they're just gonna call off a shove here. But if you open, you give them a chance to shove on you and create fold equity,
Okay.
or they'll think they have full equity.
It
So I think
depends
like
if the big blind has stats like 38 with 20, like a lot of fish have at 2.5 buying, I think. I just shove it because they will often call me. They're just not shove over me if I only open.
I know, but like if they even if they're calling and they're playing 38-20, it's still profitable to have 10s against a player like that post flop. It'll
Yeah.
be annoying sometimes when overcards come and they beat you, but it's still going to be more profitable than just shoving. If you shove here, you're basically just winning 225 chips. But I want a chance to double up with a hand as big as 10s on the button.
Okay.
So I think like this sort of hand, queens and stuff, you should be looking to maximize the value against fish and not just be worried about them sucking out on you.
Yeah. I'm on a dancing these days, and I think a lot of frustration got up and just shoved it.
That stuff
Yeah, is there the final table that we saw earlier? I think I was a kind of neat because of the dancing that I have, and I just wanted to make something.
Yeah, I know. That's like
That's a big problem. Yeah.
that's the way a lot of people think too. And like even myself when I'm losing, but it really, if you think about it, it makes no sense.
I think
Like,
yeah.
even though like I've done that same thing too. But like if you're say you're down on the day and you need like first place to have a nice winning day, like what's the if you play nitty, you're not giving yourself the best chance to get first place. So even though like that's yeah, it's just not like the best mindset.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'd probably fold this too. There's too many people behind us. Not really worth opening to steal the 300. We'd have to
Yeah,
call.
with Ante, I will definitely open it there. I think if
Yeah,
we had
I agree with
Antes,
that. Yeah, if it's a rag, like I don't mind ISOing. There's 5 big blinds, so you should be very wide here.
with Antes, I would definitely do again here.
Yeah, with antes, I think for sure. But even without antes, like people don't shove as wide, but still, he's really like forced to shove. You know, with 5 big blinds here, he can't wait around too long. He could be shoving like Jack 10 or something. Yeah, like the open with this hand. And yeah, fold. This a little bit deep of a shove. I don't mind it with King Jack, I think. I mean, I think I'd probably just be folding here, but I don't think this is
I
too
have
far off.
12 big blinds, and I consider, I don't know, the small blind doesn't count because it has a, I don't know, 4 blinds.
Yeah, so short. Yeah, I mean, you could min raise here and call the small blind and button. That might be better than just jamming.
Okay. Yeah, I knocked out his aces.
Nice. Yeah, this ISO shove. Yep, it's also fine. I mean, the big blind has like 20, he has like 30 big blinds though, so what I might do is just raise this to like 1600, and that way if the big blind shoves I can fold, just in case he wakes up with like queens or aces or something. So that's just something to consider. Like,
So,
shoving is fine.
so you make it 1600 and then fall to the big blind if he shoves, right?
Yeah, just because he's like 30 big blinds, like it's a lot of chips in case he accidentally wakes up with ace king here. So
Okay.
it's something to consider. Be calling. I think like getting these odds with king queen, you should definitely defend. It's like almost 6 to 1.
Okay.
I don't defend too light or anything, but king queen suited, it's definitely fine. Yeah, this is good. Ace 9 suited, 10 big blinds in the cutoff, so we should be ahead of him. So yeah, that's good. I don't think I would get in very much worse than ace 9 suited, but it's definitely okay.
A3 there, do you open with ace here, right?
Well, let's just see the stacks.
I think I have to call only the small blind, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Are
Yeah,
you
you could
open
open
here?
actually.
Are you
You
open?
could. It kind of like, again, sometimes I might, and other times I won't. It's not a big deal either way. I don't think. If you do open, yeah, you have to call the small blind, but that's it.
I don't know. It's all at
I
the
think you're
table there.
here's like an okay spot to flat pre-flop, but also like I wouldn't even just shove here either because like I would just like make it 2500. It looks so obvious like you have aces, but again you're in a $2 sit and go, so players are very good.
That's why I shoved to not be. I don't know if he's a reg or not.
Yeah, but like even a reg, like I would still like 3-bet here or flat because they're not very good. Even the regs in these games, so they're not going to be able to hand read and realize that you have aces here. But like if it's a fish, I definitely don't like just shoving because you're forcing him to have a hand that's good enough to call off, which he might, but he also might just have like king queen here and he can't call. Yeah, I mean this hand, if you make it 2500, all the chips are gonna go in
Yeah,
either way.
either way, yeah.
But like if he has king 10, you might induce him to call the extra 1200 chips and win some more chips off of him. So just with like aces, I think you can just play them to get as much value as possible. I wouldn't really worry about it looking so obvious that you have aces because these players aren't going to be that good. Here, I think you're definitely missing an open. You have to call off small blind, obviously. Big blind, probably have to call. But yeah, I would still be opening here.
Okay.
Good opening. Yeah, that's fine.
Here, do you consider just calling or it's okay shoving?
I would just shove because like it's already so much of your chips. This guy having 36k though, so if I had like pretend you had 30k here,
Yeah.
I would flat to try to
You would
reduce
flat.
him
Okay.
behind. But if you flat 9,000 chips, they're gonna know that you're never gonna fold, so there's no real point to do it. So you get 2.5 to 1. I'd probably call off with this. Just really good odds. They're both short, and I think you're in the money.
Yeah, I think it's in the money.
It's like a good ISO spot. The big blind is kind of deep. I think I would ISO because you only have about 16 blinds, I think. Yeah, you have about 15 big blinds, and you should be ahead of this player's range. They're shoving, like 5 big blinds, so King 10 should be ahead. I'd probably be ISOing. You get 1.6 to 1, so again, you only need 37% here, and he could easily be shoving a Queen 9 and stuff like that. So.
Or any pocket pair, and yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, any ace, you're like flipping versus those. If he's a reg, like definitely you want to ISO that. Even against a fish though, I think it would still be fine. 2 10s here, I'm probably just gonna raise call.
Open call, okay.
If I had like 7s, like I would just shove, but 10s are quite strong. He's shoving again here, so it looks like he understands to shove pretty wide. Not really, because King Jack, but he might have just ended up having that. Here, is your plan here to raise call or?
I don't remember. I think no. I think it was better to shove here.
Yeah, like I don't mind opening, but only if you're gonna call a shove. So I'm not gonna raise fold 14 blinds with 6s. So I'm either, if I open here, I'm calling.
Yeah, I think it depends on the stats. If the blinds are really tight, I think I will open fold here. If they have stats like 100% fold to steal or like 10 9 VPIP pre-flop raise, I think I would open fold.
Oh, you mean raise fold?
Raise fold, yes.
Okay.
If they are tight players in the blinds.
Like even that's okay, but like 14 blinds, I think against tight players, I might just jam it. I don't know. But yeah, if they're aggressive at all, you definitely want to raise call this. Because like if you raise call, you can get them to jam ace 3 suited on you and stuff like that they wouldn't have called a shove with. You flatted, which sucks. I would bet like 4,500, 5k, something like that. I do like small 3 bets, but I think this is a little bit too small. Or sorry, small C bet.
Small
C bet
is
a little bit too small here. You're giving him like great odds to peel really wide, so I would bet a little bit more than this.
Just touche? Touche? Pune pe mut. Ok. Pune pe mut. Ok.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably just jam here though. For like 11 blinds. Raise fold, it's not a bad play, but.
Yeah, I see him kind of neat. He only went to showdown with ace 10 or something earlier.
Yeah, if you think he's nitty, it's definitely the best play.
Sorry, I was on the call.
It's fine. So yeah, again, with a hand this strong, I'd rather raise call. Just jam.
Open call, okay.
Like you kind of force players to play perfectly when you just shift a hand like this. Even like, if they have ace 2 of hearts here, I want to get all my chips in the middle, and just by shoving, like, I'm not sure if they're gonna call with that. And also, like, if you shove here and they have ace king, they're never folding, so it's not gonna make a difference. If you shove, you're not gonna get them to fold a hand. By min raising, all you do is you give them a chance to shove more hands on you. Sometimes they will defend, which sucks a little bit, but I still think it's gonna be the best play.
And when we have here King 8, what we do?
King 8, that depends on the blinds. Like you could raise fold that for what is that? 12 blinds.
Yeah, 12 blinds.
It was like King 8 suited.
We don't shove any hand here. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we shove small pair.
Yeah, I'd be shoving like. Remember earlier in your other hand history when you jammed like King Jack suited for lots of chips or whatever. That's the sort of hand I would shove here. Basically, a hand that is strong but not strong enough to raise
Call.
call
Okay.
them are the hands I would shove. So like pocket twos through pocket fives, or maybe pocket sixes, and then like king jack suited, queen jack suited, king queen offsuit. Those sort of hands that I don't really want to raise call with, but he's queen suited is so
Okay,
strong.
so here the stacks are ideally for having I don't know a range of for open call, a range for open fold, and a range for jam, just shoving, right? So we have
Yeah, like you could raise min raise fold here, you could raise call, or you could just jam with these stacks.
so I think we
Yeah,
can
that's
open raise fold to any junk. I think even 7-2 offsuit. I
yeah,
think if
exactly. If you're just folding pre-flop, then your hand doesn't really matter what you have if you're gonna raise fold.
okay.
So yeah, you have some options, and there's 12 big blinds. It's not just shove or fold. There's definitely still some stuff you could do. And like same here, like I would still just raise callless. Shoving is fine. So oddly enough, like looks like you're gonna raise call here, but then not raise calling here. It's kind of confusing to me.
Yeah, to me too. I don't know what.
And it's fine. And then you don't raise call here too. Yes, your play like seems
I'm
a little bit random.
I
There's
don't.
not, there's definitely nothing wrong with shoving this. Like don't get me wrong. It's just I think if you
Yeah,
want to get them to put it in with worse hands, then you want to be raise calling it.
yeah. The whole table had, I think, 10 blinds, the biggest, and I didn't. I don't know why I then first shove, then raise call, then shove again. Just
Yeah,
mixing it up.
Like,
Yeah, balancing.
and actually, the hand you raised called with was the worst out of the three.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
shoved ace queen, you shoved ace jack, and then you were raised calling ace ten. But
I don't. I depends on the. I told you earlier because it would depending on the blind of the player stats. I think with ace 10, I don't know. I know I would never fold it, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, I'm just thinking this king two should be a call here. I'll just show you. I'll give him like a tight range. He only has what's that? Like four big blinds. So this is a range of any pair, any Broadway, and any ace, which isn't even wide. That would mean he's not even shoving like Jack nine, Queen nine, Jack nine suited, King nine, King five suited, all those hands that I think he would shove. So this is a pretty tight range.
Okay.
And against that you get 33.7 and you need 33.5. So it's basically a break even call here. If he's on a really tight range. But if he's like gonna be shoving wider, like this sort of stuff, then it's a call. So yeah, it's another like close one. There's nothing wrong with folding. It's just you should definitely keep an eye on your pot odds because you're basically calling off like another 12,000 here to win like a 35k pot.
one question. On the final table, are you apply the Podot, not HMF play? Did not play the HMF?
ICM.
ICM, yes.
It kind of depends. Like with 8 and 9 handed, I'm more just playing for chip EV. Do you guys use Signal Wizard?
I use a lot from 18 player. And 18 players Spindle, I play a lot.
Yeah.
And it's very depends if I make a call, a nice call from Podot, it's not a nice call from ICM.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's a good fold King use.
Yeah, the thing is though, like at a 180, the payouts are super top heavy. Like you want to be getting a lot of first places when you play
Yeah.
180s. But like if you look at your graph on SharkScope, it should show if you look at the positions, it should show first place the most out of any other place, or else you're not playing them properly because you get 50 buy-ins or something if you win. But like if you go out ninth here and this whatever it is a $2 180, you're gonna get like whatever like $9 or something. I don't even remember. But you know if you come first, you're getting like 125. So early on, I'm really not thinking about ICM very much. That's only stuff I really consider when there's like 5 and 4 people left. So
Okay,
I'm kind
I
of
understand. It's okay.
I'm kind of gonna be in a chip EV mode early.
Okay.
This is fairly close. Probably in calling.
I call
It would be like the bottom of my range. I'd call like sevens and ace jack here. So ace jack plus 7/7 plus.
Mhm.
So I think that is a call. He only has 9 big blinds. It should be pretty wide. It's an okay spot to ISO because you have 60k. So if you lose, you still have 11 big blinds, and he only had 5 big blinds in the cutoff. Let's just see what this player shoves 11 blinds with. So yeah, definitely you want to be calling sevens if he's gonna jam that for under the
From
gun.
under the gun, yeah.
Here, yeah, it's not much we can do.
Yeah, there are too many short stacks, I think, to open that.
Yeah, I was thinking about shoving, but there's a lot of people to get through. Just I think you're gonna get lots of folds because of this 5600 stack. Kind of tighten up everyone else.
I think here I had to shove, right? 8-9 of
Yeah, I think I'd be shoving here because big blind's gonna call like really tight because there's these 2 short stacks, and then small blind's gonna call pretty tight too because of this other guy that he wants to outlast him. So yeah, could we even raise fold this? It's 9 big blinds, and then you could raise fold to the big blind. So I think either min raising here and then calling the small blind, or just shoving, both be good plays. And like 10 jack here is not gonna call your shove. Yeah, that's good. I'd probably still be shoving. If there was another short stack, definitely you want to shove. This guy's kind of
Yeah,
short.
he was the shortest at the table. And I
Yeah,
think
that
he
makes me like want to fold more, but even then, I mean, I think you could go either way here. 8-2 suited is pretty bad hand.
here it was a shove.
Pretty close. Yeah, I think it's a shove. 9 big blinds. It's close though. Yeah, I don't mind the fold. I'd probably jam that. Definitely shoving this one. Maybe. Shove.
If the small blind didn't call there, here.
Yeah, pretty shitty if he like. It's another one that could go either way. Like ICM will definitely tell you to fold here, but this guy's been quite active. So like chippy V would be a good call. The thing is though with Ace 3, like no matter what he has.
Yeah, I'm in a flip. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I probably would fold because even if the best case scenario he shows up with this, then we're just in a 60-40. We're gonna lose it a lot of the time.
I think here I needed to open Jack 9. Yeah.
Not open.
No,
Shove or fold.
shove. I didn't
But,
see the stack.
I think that I like your fold here actually because of some ICM reasons. You have like a pretty good stack. This guy's gonna be out pretty soon, and then this guy's a lot shorter than you too. And then also you're shoving into the big stack, so I actually don't mind this fold. Yeah, same. Like if you were like the shortest stack right here, I think this would be an easy shove.
An easy
but
shove, yeah.
you've got like a 1 big blind stack, so you gotta kind of have to tighten up. Yeah, definitely need to get in now because this guy's already doubled up, so you're not even that far ahead of him. 5s, you just have to be trying to win chips now. Wow, so funny. That's just like such a terrible fold by him.
Yeah, he opened.
Yeah, what the hell? It's like another 20k after he put in 16. What is he doing?
Please.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, another one you have to call because you got 2.1 to 1. If you take him out here, you'll be heads up. So flip isn't even too bad for you.
Yeah, I know he murdered me here. Heads up. I only junk hands.
Yeah, you could open here. Like my heads up strategy is basically I'm just gonna min raise like 80% or something from the button, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of
So
3-bet shove.
I think
If
he
the other
was kind of an aggressive player, so I didn't want to open fold from 10 big blinds.
Yeah, it's fine. But like even these sort of hands,
I had to
you can
shove
typically
here.
shove here.
Yeah, I needed
Yeah,
to shove it.
because like, you don't need to shove. Like it's not mandatory, but I think it's a good spot to pick up chips to 25k out there. We already saw him raise fold to you when you had like 4 big blinds, so you definitely have fold equity. Like even if you have like 8 or 9 big blinds, you know you have fold equity because of that pocket 5 hand that we saw. I mean, I'd be even tempted to shove this just because he might fold. We're getting so short.
Yeah, but I just had junk in the last hand. And
This I definitely don't like. It's like, yeah, we did get a fold last with the 5s, but we're way too short to expect to have fold equity. So.
no, I didn't expect the fold equity, but I think I was frustrated because of the bad run of the cards that got me, and
Yeah,
I
we're
just
getting no hands in the big blind. It's kind of annoying.
yeah.
I wouldn't let that tilt you or anything.
He was, and I thought anyway he's opening 82, so he might call me with 82, and I
Yeah,
might
but
have 30%, I think.
Yeah, the problem is 7-4 is like not a favorite versus any two. Like if you had like
Yeah,
Jack 8 thing, then it's fine because you're ahead of any two. Yeah, that was just kind of you're kind of like tied up because you didn't really have any hands in the big blind, so it wasn't much you could do. But I still would have been folding that.
yeah.
Okay, so that was number 2. So build up Touche, which is another 8 180.
You did something here.
165. I might raise a little bit more. So many people in the pot. That's a super connected board. That's weird. Man, I'm either shoving or folding here.
Yeah, he put it this.
You could easily be beat here on this board.
Yeah, there are too many draws, too many two pairs that make here queen knight, queen jack, king 10.
Too many cards to beat me there.
Yeah, I
Easy
think
folder.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's still close though. Yeah, you're getting sick odds, like 7 to 1, so they need to call. I'll probably bet the river. Like I might. It's already 2k in the pot. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we could check, but he's not.
If I bet, I think I'm called and maybe I'm raised from any king jack or any king he have. The other way he folds. So
Yeah, but like if you check, he bets, you're not gonna fold. Are you?
maybe or maybe not.
Like I don't think it'd be very good because you have 2,000 chips. The blinds
But
are
if I bet,
83.
If I bet, I fold. If he raise,
Like that's why I probably just shove and hope he has like 9-10 or sevens or something and calls you. I don't know. I feel like there's
I prefer to check and call if he shove and everything.
yeah. I mean
If I bet, if I shove, he call me just if he beat me. If I check call, he may bluff on me. And
yeah.
I think
I
check
don't
it's
think he's gonna bluff that much though because it's a side pot. There's no side pot. Sorry. So if he then he's not even gonna win the pot. So that's why I would value bet it. I don't know.
I see. It's close.
I mean, you only have like 8 big blinds there, so top pair, you can't feel too bad if you go broke there.
Exactly.
So this, for me, is definitely a shove here. Even though big blind is committed, but big blind's gonna call if any too, but that doesn't matter because our hand is ahead of a random hand, and yeah, queen 10 is profitable here to be shoving for 10 big blinds.
A moment. Okay. Yeah, I think it's not that, okay? You shove?
By 8s?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. 2 limpers, I'm never fooling here.
Exactly.
It's for sure good. Kind of close to an ISO. This guy should definitely be pretty wide, but
The Violent depends.
if I was in the small blind, like I would always ISO this. But there's 3 people that could wake up with hands.
Exactly.
If it's a reg though, like you're definitely crushing the range. Here I'm probably gonna jam. The only thing that sucks is that the big blind is um, so deep, but I'd probably still be shoving king high. It's just there's 2,000 chips in the middle. If they fold, that's like a huge pickup for us. And we really don't want to get hit by the blinds. Like you should definitely be shoving here.
Yep.
I feel like you're playing too tight when you have this kind of 5-6 big blind stacks. When I have a stack, yeah, for sure. Like when I have a stack like this, I'm either, this hand, I'm either gonna double up, I'm either gonna win 2,500 chips, or I'm gonna bust out. Like, there's no in between here. Because you just need to be trying to acquire chips. Like folding to try to min cash or something. Again, it's not gonna help you because getting first place is gonna be 50 buy-ins and a min cash.
No, it was a miss
Spot.
I don't
Yeah.
know how I fold.
Okay, I'm just saying, just explaining.
No, I know. You're right. I think it's alpha. No.
Yeah, the big blind is the problem. Like, if the big blind has normal chips, I would be shoving. But you have no full equity. And getting this in. Okay, so looks like a pretty short one here. Not much you could have done except for the king 9 is like the main problem in this one. But I mean the rest is pretty standard, I thought. We'll do the last Jalopy one, which is a $8.
$8.
Looks like you don't play any hands here for a while.
Yeah.
I would be shoving here for sure. So I mean, there's already 225. And you have an ace. There's only 3 people to get through, and one of them is like really short.
I think I push here. I shove. I think ace 5 offsuit, ace 7 offsuit plus. I think so. It's
Yeah,
ace.
there's not really a difference in ace 3 and ace 5 here though. That's why I don't really go off like a chart. I just go off like if it's a good spot to pick up chips, which I think this is. Like
Yeah, I think. I didn't shove it because of the button, which is really short. The big blind is short, so I think I'm flip with
Yeah, but you're short
most of.
and you're trying to win chips. So I wouldn't like be worried too much. Like the guy has 500 chips. Just because he has 500 chips doesn't mean he has a better hand than you that he's gonna call. I mean, it's definitely profitable. I could put it in the Signal Wiz if you want.
No, I think
But yeah,
it's okay to shove.
yeah, I
Okay,
think like,
okay, it's a shove spot. Okay.
Standard.
Oh, it's okay. It's
yeah, I'll just show you like against. Pretend they're calling with this range. Which, they're probably not calling that wide, but it doesn't even matter. So ace 3 has 41%, and then ace 5 is 43. So it's slightly better, but it's really not, a huge difference where
okay.
I would shove ace 5, hold ace 3. It's like 2%. I'm not too sure about this play. Like again here, like we're shoving, we don't really have that much fold equity. This guy's got a lot of chips. For him, it's going to be like another 800, so he's going to be getting almost 2 to 1. And the big blind isn't going to fold, so play kind of confuses me a bit. Because like ace 3, you didn't want to shove because of the short stack, but like here is like even worse because the short stack is in the big blind, so he's more committed, and we have a worse hand.
I
So
think
I would have just been folding here. I don't think that's a very good play. How should we bet? 1250. Yeah, I guess we have to fold. I mean, yeah. If I have a jack for free though, I'm not gonna fold. I saw this. Oh yeah, Funked Up is a reg too. Plays in the same stable as me, so definitely it's a good ISO versus him.
there it's okay shove, right? Over that small blind raise.
Yeah, I don't really see any point to 3-bet. It's gonna, if you put in a 3-bet to like 1200, it's already like half your stack anyway.
Yeah.
If you have like 2 aces or something, you could 3-bet them small. But ace king, I would just jam it. Oh, what the fuck? Keep skipping this queen's end. Yeah, my overcall range here would be like jacks, maybe tens.
Tens. Yeah.
Ace king, tens, ace king. If you have a read on this guy, then like ace queen suited would probably be fine as well. Okay, kind of interesting spot. Do you know if this player's a reg or anything? Like, do you
I
recognize
don't
him?
know. Now I can look for him. How Zai.
Thing is, like he's raising so tiny here. You're getting like great odds. Ace 10. I mean, you're opening late positions, so he could definitely be making some sort of play here. But if we call, we're gonna be out of position. It's kind of a shit spot. Guess I would just fold. I think like if like 4-betting here wouldn't be that bad of a play, but yeah, it wouldn't work. But yeah, I find like the small 3-bets from Fish is usually weekend, but I don't know if that guy was a Fish. Yeah, we're too far out of position to ISO.
Here it's okay just to shove, or open call would be better.
Open call, you mean?
Yeah, raise call.
Yeah, obviously not open fold.
No. But
Yeah,
I think
big blind. you could raise call is definitely fine. And give the chance the big blind might be an idiot. If the big blind has like 10k, then I always am gonna raise call. But when he has like 8 big blinds, you definitely just shove. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
I would just shove here. Again, I'm not really sure why you fold. It's only 10 big blinds, and then one of the guys basically doesn't even count because he has like no chips. It's basically like 2 people here, and there's almost 2,000 chips in the pot, so I think it's a big leap to just fold a hand as strong as ace-8 here. You're just giving them credit for having a better hand than you.
Okay.
You see what they end up having. It's just that's what they're usually gonna have when they're in the blinds. So I think you need to not be so scared of running into hands. Maybe that's like when you're running bad, like folding there because you think they're just gonna wake up with ace king and stuff.
Yeah. So here with ace 7 I had to shove or open
Yeah, this one I wouldn't really want to play
because of the
I don't want to
short
shove.
stacks.
Yeah, the big blind's too deep to shove, and then if you raise, like
I have to
much of
pay,
call.
yeah, to
Yeah,
call
it's a
everyone.
call like all of them. Ace 7 isn't great. It's like
Okay.
here I don't mind the fold, whereas like the ace 8 from a few hands before there's only 3 people to get through, but this like you'd be raising into like 5 people.
Okay.
I don't mind that fold. Here I'd probably be folding too because it's like a profitable call. Like you should be, you only need 37%, and usually you're gonna have like
50.
45,
45.
50% twos. So the problem is that if you call and lose here is that you're gonna go down to 6 big blinds, and it will ruin your fold equity. So I mean, calling is definitely okay. It's profitable and all that, but I'd probably fold so that I can keep 12 big blinds and I can still be able to use my stack.
But there is not a huge mistake to call with use.
No, it's like
It's okay. If you
It's
want
like
to flip,
exactly. If you want to keep 12 big blinds and like play it safe, like, folding is the way to go. If you want to just call and make a profitable play to try and pick up another 6k, then that's fine as well. So you're definitely a good shove. ET 2008 is like a very good player. I'd probably 3-bet shove here. I think he's gonna open this button a lot of the time. He can still easily lose fold to you. I know he's a good player, so I like your shove. Looks like you just get unlucky. But he was gonna fold, so that's just bad luck. So definitely a good play there. So yeah, looks like another one that's pretty solid again. Just missing some shoves. So I noticed in both your guys' hand histories, just like some shoves that you guys missed. But other than that, it's pretty good. I think there's one more, right? This one.
2 shares, yeah.
I've done. Yeah, I've done. Third one.
Yes.
Okay. I think this is a 15, right? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, see, I like this 260 over just shoving because you're giving a fish the flat or the chance to flat you. That sucks. I would just bet pretty much like turn your hand into a bluff. Just hope they fold.
What do you say? You don't bet?
But yeah, he bets.
No, I said I would just like bet and turn my hand into a bluff.
Yes, exactly. We must bet.
Yeah, if we check, I guess. Here I'm gonna call it's 10 chips. So it's like a free.
I don't like to draw in bet spot.
No, just for so you complete here and just play it if you hit a open-ended, a trips, or
If you
yeah,
hit top pair, you can just check.
I think it's okay to call.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
you get
call.
11-1. If you flop a straight once in a while, like it's worth it.
Exactly.
If you call there and it comes 8-5-5, you just check fold. It's not like you have to play a big pot.
Yeah, so we just complete for the pot odds and then continue on the open.
On big pops.
Yeah.
Like top 2 and trips. And the other thing is like losing 10 chips there has no effect on the tournament at all. Like, it doesn't change your chances of winning. So it's like a free roll to see the flop. What chips that back 10 guy have?
Plenty, plenty of them.
Yeah, this is why you want to raise instead of shove. Just let people like this just be idiots. We basically donate extra stack to you.
Exactly. As Podot called it. 10 good chips.
Yeah, maybe he thought you have ace king, the other one is ace queen, ace king, and he's live. He has live cards there.
Okay.
So here, I don't like to defend here. It
Yeah, I
looks like
think it's more easy to fold here.
or
yeah,
shove or fold. I think fold is better here.
yeah.
He's
Like
short.
if I'm calling here, then that means like I don't think he has a huge hand. In which case, I'd rather just shove on him. But honestly, I'm just gonna fold here. I'm not even gonna get involved. And yeah, I like. I mean, you might as well bluff. The problem is like, I pretty much have to call if he shoves the turn.
Yeah,
'cause you're
I
betting
think here
much.
I will bet 300, well 90 or
Yeah, if you bet like 300, you can fold to a shove. But
Yeah,
I think
it's a bad hand.
630, and he shoves. I think you have to call.
no.
So you have a gut shot.
I think I have stats on him, but it's definitely a bad play.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. And like shoving is obviously fine here, but I might make it like 1200 or 1000 to maybe get him to commit more chips. And here, like I'd ISO this guy. Seems like he's pretty loose player. I'd be making it like 600. I don't want to limp because when you limp, now you're gonna let some other guy limp in, and then you don't have any control over the pot. You'll probably end up being out of position. If you ISO this and everyone folds, he calls, then you're gonna be heads up in position, and you'll have control over the pot. So it'll make it a lot better for you. And that's fine. I would have called the flop. I like the turn bet. Yeah, that's good sizing. And you could raise fold this if you wanted to. Definitely a call here. Yep, good open. Probably open this one as well. I mean, if you look at the stacks, the stacks are pretty good for an open. Like, no one's so short that you'll be committed.
Sometimes you mirror, sometimes you.
So here, I very often would be checking back because the stack to pot ratio is super small. Like there's 2400 and he has 3000 left. So the reason for checking is to let bad player either might catch up on the turn. Like say he has like Jack 10 right here, we could let him hit a pair on the turn, or we could let him start bluffing the turn. If I was gonna see bet here, I would be betting very small, like 450 chips or something where I could induce a raise out of him. Because you have like the ace of diamonds, like, basically you have this board locked up. Okay, so that's very good c-bet sizing. Yeah, that's exactly what we want there. So that's perfect. If you bet like 1200, you might just fold bottom pair, but that's so small that he thinks he has fold equity. So that's really nice. Or just min raise here, like as a steal. This 110 chips doesn't really make a difference, and we can just like if he folded, I would have opened. So the 110.
I don't know if I have regular on blinds. I don't like to open from bottom which any card maybe.
Yeah, you still want to do it once in a while though, because like if you're never opening light on the button, then you're missing like tons of chances
I
to
see.
steal pawns. And then when you do have aces and kings, like you want to get action from the button, but if you're never
Exactly.
opening,
Exactly.
they're just gonna fold. Here,
Here
I'll
it's homage
steal-
with Mihai on blind.
yeah, it's steal Mihai's one.
I don't want to steal from him.
I would probably open this and then yeah, Mihai probably knows your game, so I doubt he's gonna shove like anything except for a big hand on you. So I think we could just raise fold to him, and then the small blind you have to call. But I think like ace five in the cutoff, you don't want to just fold. Again, there's 2,000 chips in the pot, almost 1,800. That's even though you have 12k, which is a nice stack. It would be even nicer if you had another 1,800. So you can watch his play too, see if he donks it out. Standard. That's close. First guy is like a snap call. I think Azmat 1 is a reg. It's really close. Like ace queen, I'm calling it all day. Ace jack is. If they're both regs, I think I'd call because
Let's
this
see.
guy could be. He'll know that this guy's range is wide, and then he'll ISO like ace 8, ace 9, pocket 5s, ace 10, stuff like that. If they're both randoms, a fold's definitely fine.
So
If one's a random, one's a reg.
this one in the button it's a reg, Azamat 1. It's a reg, this one.
You don't like calling if the buttons are reg?
No, I
No,
told you
say
that
the button it's a
it's
regular.
a regular. I searched him.
Then you call.
No, I don't know what to do here, but
Oh,
I told
yeah.
you that he's a reg. So the button
I
is
think it's
a reg.
close. So,
Yeah, it's
it's
very
how you
close.
say. If we have two regs, I think it's a good call. If we have fish or Thai player, I think it's fold.
Fold.
Yeah, like if it's two randoms here, I like to fold. If it's two regs, I like to call. And if one's a random, like this guy, then this guy's a reg, and it's very close. So I think you could go either way there. Shove here. Yeah, definitely another shove that you're missing out. 9.5 big blinds, king 10 of hearts. I'm just gonna shove this all day. You're probably on the bubble, so people are gonna call tighter. Yeah, it's just not a shove you want to miss. I mean, look what they're doing. They're just folding. So you had eights and nines.
It was an eye. Okay, I will see to adjust my range of shove. I must shove.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Just I noticed you guys
Just a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at all the chips you're winning. The last like 4 hands you shoved, they folded, and you're up just 17k on, almost. Another one I'm shoving. I think like here you're probably folding because you're worried
Shove
because
too
you
much.
so many times. But
Exactly.
I wouldn't even let that affect me. I mean, you have queen jack here. That's like a very good hand to be shoving with because not very many stuff they call with has you dominated. Like, they need a really big hand to dominate this.
Exactly.
Definitely you just want to keep shoving here. Especially all the times they've been folding, that just makes me want to shove even more because I know that they're playing so tight. So here, I would rather see a shove than a min raise because only one guy at the table has 10 big blinds and everyone else is less than that. So ace 9 suited, it's profitable to be shoving here. And if you min raise, you give yourself kind of a really awkward decision. Like say this guy shoves, in a really crappy spot. Same with him. So I think here you should just be shoving. Folding here, probably getting it, like ace 10 would be kind of close. Ace jack would be like a snap call. I would be ISO shoving here. I don't really care about this guy's hand. He only has like 1.5 big blinds. So it's basically 7k in the middle, and you only have to put in 3k, so you're getting great odds. Just ISO ship.
So if nobody acts to me and I have Jack 10 here, I will shove.
If it folded to you, I probably would have just raised folded, but now that this guy put in those extra few chips, it makes it worth shoving because there's already like 7k in the middle.
And if he don't, if he is not here, I erase fold from here.
Yeah, I probably min raise fold. That sucks. Kings and aces go. It is terrible.
Exactly.
At least you get action with queen.
It was almost a split.
Ace,
Not another pot. So yeah, I'll just jam.
And then, whoa.
Hey, you just run on. I'm like definitely getting intense here. He's shoving a lot of chips, but I don't think he's just gonna open shove 2 jacks or this many chips. So
Exactly.
I don't think you're ever dominated,
And
but you have him dominated. So shit.
I think in worst case there he has
Hey, you're just crushing this baby.
I run like God.
So yeah, I'll take a note on this guy. That's a terrible shove there. Queen 10. Here, 1.5 to 1. I think I would just fold because we're manhandling the table anyways. So why make a marginal call? We can just keep using. Yeah, I like the open. We can easily raise fold. We have a huge stack, so we might as well abuse people. And this guy,
I think we can raise here, right?
Yeah, what I do in this spot every time is I raise him to the amount that I would see bet. So I just ignore his bet and I pretend I'm c betting. So
Okay, and
14.
we see betting, and if he shove, we fold.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So if we're c betting, we're betting like 7k. So I'd raise him to like 7k. 9's a little big, but it's fine. But the little lead out there is so weak that you don't want to just fold. But here you win the pot, so I hope you just shove because I don't really want to defend here. So we're gonna be out of position. I don't think defending is great because a lot of times we're just gonna have to check and fold to a c-bet. So I would just fold this hand, but I think shoving would be better than defending. Yeah, I like your turn lead too, and I like the sizing a lot too. You're betting 10,000, which like looks really scary to him, and he probably thinks you hit this board. And this is a board that should hit your range a lot for defending.
Exactly.
So that's a good bet sizing there.
You defended here.
And again, I don't really like the call because we're gonna be out of position. And I don't think I would, just because like last time he did this, it worked. Like I could see him checking back an ace to try to trick you. So I would just give up. And the river, I don't really like your bet either. The only hands you're gonna get him off is like
The missed draws. Yeah.
tens or jacks. Maybe you can get him a fold, but yeah,
I was very ambitious.
yeah, you showed heart, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a bad.
Like he's never, especially your sizing. Like he has ace, whatever here. He's just gonna snap it off. Even like king jack, he's gonna snap you. So yeah, just try not to defend your blinds so loose because you see that you get yourself into trouble there. If you lose chips, you don't need to lose. So checking back here is fine if you're trying to induce action. But I don't like to check back if you're planning to fold here on the turn. Okay, good. So yeah, you got unlucky on the turn, but I thought you were gonna fold because I saw the pink thing on it. I was like, oh no. Yeah, it's fine. Also, like, there's almost no aces in his range too when he defends on that stack.
Exactly.
So
That's my point.
If you check, you're just giving him a chance to bluff, which is good. Raise fold, I guess. fold here because I don't want to flip.
What's the smallest pocket pair that you call there? Yeah.
Probably fives.
Fives?
I think fives are big enough where he's gonna have like ace three, king
Yeah.
four, and have hands where we're beating him. But threes, there's some hands we're beating, but we're mostly just flipping.
Okay.
Yeah, fives I'd probably call them. What did I got this out? Here I would just raise call. It's like the ICM kind of sucks, but all the stacks are pretty equal. Like there's not a real short stack here, so I would just be raise calling. Shoving is fine, it's probable, but
yes, I think raise call is more better.
yeah, just because the stacks are all even. Like if there's a guy sitting on like a 10k stack right now, and the ICM is pretty big, so you don't want to raise call, and you would want to just shove. But since all you guys are equal, I'm gonna be doing whatever play that will win me the most chips. I'm not gonna think about ICM, so I would raise call there. Good open. Again, I think we could do. The problem is he's donk leading like 10k, so we don't have that much room. But yeah, I mean, I think we could float him here, so we could flat, and then hopefully he checks turn, and then we bet, or we could like raise him to like 21.
Read on turn. Yeah.
I think like a flat might be better because we raised to like 20k. It's like half a stack already. I mean, I guess we can still fold. It's just really gonna suck if we put in half his chips. But yeah, that's fine. Fold. Could try to open under the gun there. Yeah, we could still raise full to him. I like your sizing a lot here. I might even check though, but definitely if you're gonna bet, you want to bet really small. Problem is like queen nine queen, even this tiny bet is gonna work so often because number one, you have like all the nines, so he's no way this guy has a nine here, and then queen is unlikely too. So even this tiny bet, like it's gonna get him to fold so much. So I might check and give him a chance to hit a pair on the turn. And when he raises here, I would just flat. Like, I could see a fish being an idiot and trying to raise, like pretending they have trips.
Here, if he has any pair, he would do that, I think.
Any pair, any clubs, any God, not sure.
Jack 10. I think.
It's so many money there.
Yeah, I mean shoving's fine. It's just I see like I've seen fish who will just raise here and then you shove and they fold because they were just bluffing. And if he has clubs or a pair, all your money's gonna go in on the turn either way. So just try to think about the range and stuff. Like obviously the chance of him having a nine there is like so remote. That's so tiny and then min raises here. Like he's not representing much here. There's not much we can do though. I mean, he could shove. There's 53k in the pot, and if you don't believe him, then that's if he folds here and we pick up like so many chips, you could even call too because like he's making it so tiny that we're getting like 6-1, and we could hit like a club on the turn or a 10 on the turn, jack on the turn, king or queen. But I don't know. Folding's obviously fine too. It just kind of sucks. Here I'd probably just min raise. Like when you had 6-9, you were min raising, so I would do it with jack, ace jack too. Dangerous. I would see that smaller here because he saw how small you see that last time when you had trips, so I think a small c bet would scare him anyways. So I would just bet like 9,500, something like that. So here, like, you can't really raise fold at this point. So if you raise here and he shoves, you have to call. So I would just shove here. I don't see the point of min raising into him. Like, yeah, like you put in 14 and you're getting 2-1 here. So I think like when someone has a stack like this, you need to be either shoving or folding. raise folding is not a very good play. He only has, I don't even know how much he has, 42, 6 blinds. So like raise folding to someone with 6 blinds, it really isn't a good play because you're giving yourself 2 to 1
Yes,
call.
exactly.
So just shove there or fold. Or if you have like a really big hand, you can raise. And like, I think you're better off min raise here than just jam. So you're not giving them a chance to ever play back at you. It's a pretty good hand to 3-bet shove with. I would at least call here though, heads up. So I'd either 3-bet jam or I would defend. I'm not gonna fold. We could make some sort of play with 2 overs and a gut shot. So yeah, I might like. Problem is if you make a check raise like 40k, you pretty much commit yourself. So I might just do that. I might just raise him to like 45,000 and then I'm committed in my head. So if he shoves, I have to call. And if he has like 10-8 or something, then we have lots of outs because we have 2 overs and a gut shot. I don't really want to just check fold there. I think that's a little bit weak.
Exactly, I think
He's gonna miss the flop a lot. Here, like also, I don't really like 3xing a huge chunk of our stack to call. So I think like if you're gonna limp here and he raises, you should just fold. Or if you think he's full of it, you should shove. But on the button, I would just be min raising instead of trying to limp in.
Exactly. I think I take a strange line here on heads up.
On the turn, like I would probably just shove the turn, or I'd bet like 40,000 on the turn. Just commit myself with my draw. That way we have full equity, and if he shoves, then we can maybe hit our flush. And yeah, you probably would have won it right on the turn there.
Exactly.
I like open, just bet like 12k. Okay, a little bit unlucky the final hand. So yeah, I mean there's still some things. I mean heads up, there's a couple weird hands, but yeah, the main thing like when someone's this short like this, here I mean you could raise fold here, but like the other one, the 5-6, when they have that sort of stack, it's like shove or fold. So yeah.
Yes,
But
where it's 6 blind will definitely miss. Shove is better.
Yeah.
I have from 18 player, like raise.
Yeah, you raise fold a lot in them.
Exactly. I have some leak.
Yeah, we all have leaks, so
This is why we have worked with you.
Yeah, well you guys gained like considering it's the first session, the first hand histories is like very good starting point. Like, I'm sure after a few sessions, the games are going to be looking really solid. But yeah, you guys aren't missing much stuff. Just seems like in both your hand histories, you're missing some shoves. That seem like the main kind of theme. And then heads up. I can't remember what the other heads up was, but yeah, just like
the other heads up when I shoved 7-4
oh yeah,
offsuit.
the 7-4. Yeah, the general strategy is just like open like every button or like 80% of your buttons. Don't defend too much from this big blind because you're going to be out of position. And just look for spots where you can 3-bet jam on people. Like a good example is the first hand of heads up when you had Jack 9. Like it's a pretty good 3-bet jamming spot because you have a lot of fold equity. You have a pretty good hand. If he calls, you're going to be like 40% most of the time. And you know there's 22k in the middle, so if you pick it up, you get up to like 115. So yeah, just some stuff to consider. But yeah, overall pretty good stuff.
And I think another big leak that we have is we shove too much instead of just letting them shove us, bluff us, or make mistakes. Exactly. I think we shove too much. We generally shove if they have under or 10 big blinds. We just shove. So I think this is it's another big leak. So we have to open call them, not shove. I think.
Yeah, basically like I go off of the player. So if it's say it's like a really good reg in the big blind with 8 blinds, either folds to you, I would just jam with aces because they're a good player on ace there. Say like you're on the button with like 12 big blinds and you have ace queen. You want to min raise there too to give the blinds a chance to 3-bet you. So
Yeah.
yeah, just spots like that. Just make sure you don't overplay your big hands. Also, like when you have like aces or queens or
Queens,
something
yeah.
early on, you don't want to just shove your whole stack in. You want to be trying to get them to commit more chips. But yeah, like I said, both your games are very good for the first time session. So we're just about at like 2 hours now. I think we're at
Yeah, 2
more
hours.
after the first session.
Yes,
Let's
it's
see
okay.
what hands.
I really want to see from rebuy on
Oh, a 3 rebuy?
3-bar rebuy. Yes, I have some strange code there and I have some contradiction with other people. I really like to play small pair and go all in with mm, big stack with small pair, and I don't think it's a good idea. But we will speak maybe in next session.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you have any hands like that, just save them, and then you can send them to me on our sessions.
Exactly.
So like, even like the boom player or whatever,
yeah.
you can just save the links.
We really like Boom Player.
we are a boom team.
We like Boom Player.
Okay.
Okay,
so
thank you
Guess I'll see you
for
guys.
the session. Yeah, we'll talk to Mihai and we see when we'll have another session with you.
Alright, awesome.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good luck.
Good luck.